Let's be honest. When you check your partner's phone or hit a breaking point every time a stranger looks at them, you're screaming, "I don't think I'm good enough for you." This video isn't for weak people trying to keep their partner through restriction. So if you're looking for a justification for your paranoia, don't waste my time. In this section, I'm going to expose a truth that reeks of weakness. Jealousy is your official confession of worthlessness. I've experienced firsthand how constant checking and nervous interrogations pushed my partner away and signaled to her that she was the prize and I was the loser, trembling at the thought of a rival. I learned that authority means being so sure of your own value that you know losing you would be the greatest loss of their life, not the other way around. If you don't learn how to crush this green monster and build authoritative security instead, your partner will eventually look for someone who makes them feel free, not imprisoned. You're about to learn how to own their mind without becoming their jailer. Step into the unseen. Welcome to the ultimate masterclass in decoding the female mind. The petty torturer. How jealousy proves to your partner that they are out of your league. The genealogy of the fear of loss, when internal insecurity masquerades as love. Hello to our precise and observant followers. Today, we want to enter the darkest yet most human layer of relationships: jealousy. This is a subject that in our culture is often mistaken for the word zeal or gairat, and this linguistic ambiguity is the beginning of the destruction of thousands of relationships. In February 2026, where social media and technology have shifted the boundaries of privacy, jealousy manifests in modern and more complex forms. We want to know why, when your spouse is exposed to the attention of another, a storm erupts within you that makes you want to burn everything down. Is this a sign of great love or a deep psychological trauma? From the perspective of evolutionary theory, jealousy was initially a survival mechanism, a tool for protecting territory and ensuring the continuity of the lineage. However, in modern psychology and the analyses of 2026, excessive jealousy is recognized as insecure attachment anxiety. When you obsessively check your spouse's phone messages or show hypersensitivity toward her normal interactions at work, which might be about Forex market fluctuations or AI projects, you are actually shouting a reality. I do not see myself as worthy enough, and I fear someone better will take my place. My psychological critique of this male behavior is that you have mistaken control for affection. Control kills the free spirit of a woman, and the more pressure you apply, the more you drive her towards secrecy. Dissecting digital control, when technology serves doubt and suspicion. In this section of our deep analysis, we must address a dangerous phenomenon of 2026 that I call the digital glass prison. In the era we live in, technology has provided terrifying tools for feeding jealousy just as much as it has facilitated communication. From the perspective of cyber psychology, when a man constantly monitors his wife's last seen status or shows a morbid sensitivity toward the likes and comments on her posts, he is experiencing a gradual collapse of internal authority. This type of jealousy, unlike traditional protection, has no roots in care. It is rooted in absolute possessiveness. Let's dissect the subtle difference between attention and surveillance. Attention means you care about your partner's psychological security. Surveillance means you are looking for a crime that hasn't happened yet. My psychological critique of men trapped in digital jealousy is that they have confused intimacy with monitoring. When you demand passwords for all her accounts, you are declaring that your relationship is based on control, not trust. In 2026, women need respected privacy more than ever to maintain their individual identity alongside their couple identity. Imagine your wife is tracking gold, dollar, or coin prices in professional groups or discussing artificial intelligence challenges with colleagues. A jealous man sees these professional interactions as an emotional threat. He starts endless interrogations. Who were you talking to? Why were you online so long? These sentences act like drops of acid on the silk fabric of a relationship. Jealousy is a defensive wall a man builds to hide his own weaknesses, but he ends up suffocating his wife inside that wall. Deep-rooted ownership traumas. Why the ghosts of the past haunt your current peace. In this profound stage of our deconstruction, we must courageously confront a layer that most men instinctively dread: the historical and unconscious origins of pathological jealousy. From the rigorous perspective of analytical psychology, the morbid jealousy and digital surveillance we analyzed in previous sections are rarely an objective reaction to the woman's current behavior. Instead, in the vast majority of cases, the irrational anger, suspicion, and hypervigilance a man expresses are actually psychological remnants of people from his past, former partners, childhood figures, or betrayal traumas that are now being catastrophically projected upon his innocent spouse. We are witnessing the destructive phenomenon of projective identification, where a man projects his deep-seated fears of abandonment and past wounds of being ignored onto the canvas of his current relationship, effectively blinding himself to the reality of his partner's loyalty. To dissect this with even more intricate detail, we must understand that when you, as a man navigating the high-stress environment of 2026, constantly pressured by the volatile fluctuations of Forex, gold, and artificial intelligence markets, succumb to doubt, you are often suffering from a fundamental internal void. My psychological critique is that many men weaponize jealousy as a defensive shield to hide an agonizing abandonment anxiety. The jealous man, in his deepest subconscious, does not fundamentally believe he is sufficient or worthy enough for his wife to choose him voluntarily every day. Consequently, instead of evolving his own character to become a man worth staying for, he desperately attempts to force her to stay by erecting walls of restriction and control. This creates a tragic paradox. In your frantic, anxious attempt to not lose her, you adopt behaviors that become the very catalyst for her emotional withdrawal. In the hyper-connected world of 2026, where mental and physical escape routes are infinite, you cannot keep a soul by force. The only sustainable preservation of a bond is to cultivate such a magnetic, secure, and confident aura within yourself that she finds no sanctuary more fulfilling than being by your side. Part 4 of 4, The Strategy of Sovereign Internal Authority, Transmuting Destructive Suspicion into Unshakable Intimacy. We have reached the ultimate station of this clinical deconstruction. We have established that suspicion is not an act of love, but the desperate cry of an insecure ego. Now, the vital question remains: how do we harness this primal instinct before it incinerates the relationship? In the framework of secure attachment theory, the objective is not the total eradication of jealousy, which can occasionally serve as a survival alarm, but to prevent it from mutating from a warning system into a weapon of mass destruction. In the dawn of 2026, where digital and physical realities are blurred by tech advancements, we require a sophisticated emotional intelligence to protect our heart's boundaries without turning our home into a panopticon. The first step for a truly authoritative and modern man is the radical acceptance of vulnerability. My psychological critique of archaic masculinity models is that they falsely teach men to mask their fear with aggression. However, the conscious man of 2026 understands that behind every interrogation session and every anxious check of a phone's last seen status lies a vulnerable admission. I am terrified of losing your affection. When you possess the immense courage to replace an accusation with an honest confession, saying, Today, when I witnessed that person's attention toward you, I felt a wave of insecurity and fear. You effectively neutralize the venom of jealousy. This radical honesty invites empathy instead of defensiveness. Just as we have learned in the volatile markets of currency and gold that transparency is the ultimate safeguard of stability, the same immutable law governs the economy of the human heart. The definitive operational protocol for video recording. The mirror and cognitive restructuring. Before launching an attack over a like or a professional networking call, engage in 10 minutes of silent introspection. Ask yourself, is her behavior an objective threat, or am I viewing her through the distorted lens of my previous failures? This is the cornerstone of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. You must learn to draw a hard line between external reality and your internal projections. Radical investment in self-brand. A man who is perpetually ascending in his own life has no psychological bandwidth for petty jealousy. If you dedicate your cognitive energy to mastering artificial intelligence, optimizing your physical health, or analyzing the global coin markets, your self-esteem will reach such a zenith that you will no longer perceive potential rivals as threats. A woman is naturally gravitating toward a man who is secure in his own value, not one who is constantly sniffing for traces of betrayal. The 21-day digital detox from surveillance. Commit to a complete cessation of monitoring her digital footprint. This will initially trigger a surge of withdrawal anxiety, but it is the only way to retrain your brain to realize that our relationship exists through mutual will, not through my policing. A real man is one who believes so deeply in his innate worth that he knows his place in his wife's heart is irreplaceable. In episode 13, we shall explore the vital art of dialogue under pressure, how to criticize without decimating character. Stay with us.